Hey guys, Dislife Mark here, and I want to tell you all about the official travel partner here at Chip & Company. Let our good friend Sarah at Destination to Travel help you plan your next Disney vacation. Sarah specializes in planning dream vacations for your family. She's an authorized Disney vacation planner, and she can help with every step of your magical vacation. The best thing is that her services are 100% free. Want to travel beyond Disney? Sarah has you covered there too. Want to find out more? Fill out a trip request form over at the website at Chip & Co. or email her directly at sarahsolberg@d2travel.com. What are you waiting for? Start planning that dream vacation today. Email her at sarahsolberg@d2travel.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Welcome, foolish mortals.
Greetings, program.
Amigos down there. It is me up here.
Howdy, folks. Please keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the train and remain seated at all times.
Nice work, pal.
Well, we have one of those new talking machines. Now that is something.
We know what our goals are. We know what we hope to accomplish. And believe me, it's the most exciting and challenging assignment we've ever tackled.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Dislife Podcast. Thank you so much for being a part of our Disney Lives here on the Chip & Company Podcast Network. My name is Mark Valentine, and I am the host of Dislife Podcast. Join us weekly as we discuss the very best of Disney parks, resorts, dining, and beyond. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button to gain access to more incredible audio content from the Chip & Company Podcast Network. Just a reminder to head over to chipandco.com for the latest and the most uplifting headlines from across Disney parks from around the world. We'd like to give a special shout out to the patrons of this podcast program, the members of our Patreon page who have special access to bonus content and much, much more. And if you would like to support this radio program, just a reminder, head over to patreon.com/Dislife Podcast. On today's podcast, Greg and I are going to be creating our fifth gates for Disney as we expand the parks at Walt Disney World for the future. And we're talking about our ideas for rides, restaurants, themed lands, character meet and greets, and more. So stick around as we put on our Imagineering hats and cultivate the newest Disney parks that live rent-free in our brains. But before we get into that and we lift and get some heavy construction going, let's welcome him in, ladies and gentlemen, fresh from the couch, took a day off from saving the galaxy, I'm assuming, the one and only Greg, the Disney fanatic. Greg, are you well rested, my friend?
Hoy, hoy, Mark Valentine, and thank you for having me here at Dislife Podcast. It was a long, arduous night of watching the Phillies win. I may live in Florida. My heart belongs to Philadelphia. Yeah, man, I took the day off. I am relaxed. Look, I think you and I before the show were like, a day off once in a while really does help. And so you and I both took the day off, and then you kind of were, hey, why don't we do this as an idea? And it just took off. I am really excited to do our fifth park ideas today. I'm really excited to talk with you as always, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing great. It was a return to our second home this weekend. 2 shows in 1 week, man. Who knew? So I saw Strange Loop on Wednesday. Then we took my daughter in for a nightcap of, we saw Beetlejuice, the musical. And it was incredible. So much fun. I wish I could share Beetlejuice with the masses because it's amazing. It had a run at the Winter Garden Theater. It closed and it got replaced by the Music Man because there was a contractual obligation with the theater and the Music Man. People were aghast and really upset that it got taken down, but then it reopened over at the Marquee, over at the Marriott, and it's been having a wonderful run. It's closing again in January, but man, what an amazing musical. I love it so much. It was so hilarious.
I'm so glad you guys got into the city. This is a perfect time of year to go. It's beautiful outside for you.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was just nice to get away and enjoy Broadway.
Well, it was. We need to get Holly and Rory up here in November, and we have to do it. So what do you think about this? What about Dislife Does Manhattan?
Can we be like the Muppets? Can I be Miss Piggy in this situation?
Absolutely. Let's do a Manhattan
Can
trip.
we tandem bike?
We could. We're
In
gonna
Central
make
Park?
it. Well, that's Milwaukee, but
All of a sudden we
Yeah.
went to, where are they? Cleveland?
That's
maybe?
Milwaukee,
Mark,
I
by
think.
the way, for 1 second, I'm going to ask you to talk because I was handed a scoop of chocolate chip cookie dough.
Well,
my daughter has a new talent that we just learned. She knows how to make the world's best chocolate chip cookies, and I have a spoonful of dough. So go ahead, my friend.
enjoy your dough. But again, so we came up with this idea today. We are in full relaxation mode. I was over at Broadway. Greg has been enjoying Major League Baseball and just the family. So we kind of took a few days of a brain break where we didn't do our Disney lives. And I texted him
this is so good.
He's making me hungry. But we took a few days off from living our best Disney lives. And we said, hey, let's just focus on the family, just kind of like power down our brains a little bit. I texted him this morning. I'm like, hey, I've got Disney block right now. I don't know what to talk about. And so obviously we had Blue Sky Projects a few weeks ago. And I said, why don't we create the fifth gate? Let's do it. Let's not blue sky this, but let's completely build it from the ground up, from our minds.
And can I say, what a great idea, because that got my juices flowing.
It did.
It really made me start thinking. And I was like, man, I almost missed Disney. It's been 3 days off, and I kind of start missing the parks all of a sudden by thinking this way. So thank you for coming up with this idea.
Yes, it did. It got me into a really, really good headspace. So what we're going to do today is park icons, quick service restaurants, table service restaurants. We each were tasked. You had to create 5 rides. You had to conceptualize 5 rides and the types of rides that they were, and also populate the lands of a fictitious fifth gate. Greg saw mine because I planned, but I have no idea what Greg has picked, and I'm really excited to hear your idea from it. So let me go first, and I took one for the team, and I said, hey, I think that one of us should do villains. You said, I have no interest in doing villains, and I was like, I will throw myself on that sword because I want a villains park. It's no mistake. And hopefully, if we don't get Villains Land beyond Big Thunder Mountain, I want a full fifth gate. For those listeners that are out there on the Chip and Company Podcast Network that interacted with us on socials and said, don't give me a land, I want a full gate. This is going to hopefully satiate you and satisfy you a little bit, because I'm giving you a full park, not just a land with like a ride or two today. Greg, what is your idea? So I'm taking Villains Land and I'm going to flesh it out today and build it out. What's your idea? I have no idea now. Drum roll, please.
I don't know. Could you just keep saying flesh it out for me for a little bit longer?
No, we're good.
I'm amused. Are we good with that?
Yeah, we're good. We're going to let that one go.
We're going to let that one go. Anyway, moving on. So my fifth gate idea. You are doing Villains Land. I am doing Disney's Wonderful World of Animation. I
love the name.
Have thrown myself at this, my friend, and have ideas on top of ideas to the point where I'm still writing out stuff. I'm like, with a pen and paper. Yeah, I still use a pen.
You're
and paper.
excited. And so, ladies and gentlemen, he went old school. He texted me and was like, I approached this like I had to write an essay. So he full on outlined this thing like I gave him in 1,000 words or less. Greg, please describe in your creative writing assignment. Please describe your land over at Disney. All right. So
what we have is, go ahead.
Let's start with Park Icon for the Wonderful World of Animation Park by Greg Gately. What is your park icon? I'm so curious.
My park icon, Mark, and you're going to appreciate this, my friend, because you were just in New York City. Mm-hmm. You know these giant new 3DX screens that they have sitting up there.
Oh, they're gorgeous. Yes.
They are gorgeous. I am thinking a 150-foot tall, 100-foot wide, 3D animated screen that you can on the screen, you can change what you have going on hourly. So at one point you could have Fantasia Mickey doing Sorcerer Mickey. You can then change it up and have Maleficent's dragon trying to breathe fire on the audience as they're going by. You could have at one point when you're walking in an artist easel, and out of the easel is coming different characters. You could have Nemo in the seas, but you know these screens and how in-depth they are.
So what is it going to be shaped like, though? Is it going to be like fractals? Like, what is the shape of the icon going to look like?
The shape is oval. Oh. And it's LED screens. So it obviously when it's turned off, it'll look like a giant black oval. But instead, you have just this giant oval as you walk into the park, dead center. Always changing animation, so you'll never know that it's just this oval. It will always look like these 3D images are coming out at you.
Okay. Very creative use.
Different.
Very different. I like that. I went a more traditional route with my park icon.
And your icon, might I say, because I did read this, it's fabulous.
So my idea for a park icon is Maleficent's castle. I want it to be a dark, grandiose version of like Cinderella's castle, but I need my dark version of the castle to be complete with a dragon tour in the basement. So I want Maleficent in dragon form in the basement. Like you have in France, they have that little grotto / walkthrough area. You cannot have Maleficent's castle without having her in dragon form. And then upstairs, I will talk about the concept of this later, but I want a restaurant, of course. And I also want to retain the ability to walk through Maleficent Castle to the other side to an area, a landed area behind the castle itself. So that's what we also did. Let's get into the lands and let's do them one at a time. So I have a total of 4 lands. How many lands did you work out in the wonderful world of animation?
I have 4 lands just like you.
Okay, perfect. So you go, why don't you go first? And
Excellent.
And is it like a hub and spoke, your park? Like, what's the layout like? Have you gone that far in your mind?
We are hub and spoked. Obviously, that is where my icon sits, is right in the middle. So obviously, you're walking through a animation. The stores.
Okay,
look, Mark, you have to walk through the stores. We have to make money for this park. This park must become profitable in year 1, so we don't get fired by Michael Eisner or Bob
Michael Eisner.
So
wait, he's back?
I don't know who's there, but they gave us all this money to build the park. We have to make money. The front is all shops. Think Main Street USA. It doesn't matter. You walk in, your icon, you spoke off 4 different spokes. First land you're going to go to, Mark, because look, I'm a left guy. I always go left. So on your left-hand side, I'm going to call this, at the wonderful world of animation, I'm going to call this the Disney Arcade, where you play your way to the high score. As you walk in, Mark, you come to the Wreck-It Ralph Game Central Hub.
Let's go. Let's go.
And in there, we're going meta here, is another spoken wheel type situation where you can walk into different games and different rides. So the first spoke is going to be a Sugar Rush VR game with Vanellope von Schweetz. You have to put in Vanellope in a game. It's VR. Look, you're not going to take up a giant space, and it's not going to be an outdoor track. I want this to be interactive. I want it to feel like you're actually doing this ride.
So what do you want, like a trackless ride, or do you want like an Avatar Flight of Passage kind of situation?
I want an Avatar Flight of Passage situation, but you are in control. So each pod, 8 racers.
Yeah, so kind of like Smuggler's Run, where it's
exactly, yes.
So you're in a pod, but you can see, dude, and that tech would be amazing to be applied to a Sugar Rush.
I really think it would be good for that. Okay. Spoke number 2, my friend, inside of the Wreck-It Ralph Game Central Hub is going to go over to ride. My main ride, number 1, is going to be an Epic Mickey area. And it's going to be an Epic Mickey ride. In this ride, you are going to have
video game. Oh, okay.
A paintbrush or varnish. Vanisher. Excuse me, either one. So on your left joystick is going to be one, on your right is going to be the other, and you go through this ride Toy Story Mania style, and you're shooting either one you need video game style. How else would you do this? Spoke 3 is going to go to a Kingdom Hearts area. And this is where you have
your love of gaming is
Town,
showing right now. I love it.
Traverse Town, and the first quick service you get to is going to be a Seesaw ice cream quick service area. And then you can go sit down on the beach. You can hang out in the area. It looks like the original beach from the original game. And Mark, this is where you also get your first real meet and greet area, where you get to meet Mickey, Donald, Goofy, and Sora in their Kingdom Hearts costume, along with the Heartless and Axel and Demix. All of these characters are in this one area. So that, my friend, is my first land.
Wow. Okay. So you're also going to force me left then, because I've laid this out.
I always have to go left.
Okay. So we're always going left. That's kind of the tradition and the hallmark of this show. We always go left since the first episode. We talk about how we always go left over to Adventureland. So I'm going to head left. My land that's on the left is called the Barren Wasteland.
Ooh.
Okay, so on the left, that's kind of like, think of it as like dark frontier land. The same aesthetic, but instead of like those glowy orange rocks that you've got of like Big Thunder Mountain and of Splash Mountain, we're trying to make this like a Mirrorverse. I want this to be like a dark Mirrorverse of the Magic Kingdom. So instead of that, you've got the Barren Wasteland of like Elephant Graveyard from the Lion King, like a barren plain that could be like where Yzma, and like it's kind of like a dark area that if like Yzma had taken over Kuzco's kingdom, that she could have like spoiled it and it could have been sour. So like think that color scheming of like grays and blacks and purples kind of like intermixing with that unnatural green and yellow, like that hellfire that would be burning in that area.
Can I stop you for 1 second?
No, go ahead, man.
Your love of stage design is showing.
It is.
Can we? Your stage manager and production value is through the roof already.
All right,
because you have done theater before. So please continue.
So the crowning ride, the e-ticket ride over in this mean area of the park, the Barren Wasteland is going to be home to the Kronk and Yzma roller coaster.
Ooh.
Pull the lever, Kronk. Wrong lever!
So pull the lever, man, and then you get to hang on tight. This is a pure thrill ride.
He said,
as you traverse the turns and drops, can you hold down your spinach puffs, Greg, for this high-speed adventure? Because that's the ride. I want a crazy roller coaster. I want a full-on e-ticket attraction. Kronk and Yzma deserve that ride like you get. I want that ride to be the centerpiece.
Absolutely has to be there.
Of this area. Then I have a second attraction, not necessarily the e-ticket attraction, but again, very close to kind of a Galaxy's Edge situation, where this is the Smuggler's Run portion of the Barren Wasteland. I want an Escape the Stampede Lion King virtual adventure / trackless ride system. You get dropped. So the ride starts with you getting dropped into the gorge, a la Mufasa's fall. Long live the king, Greg. And then you fall into the gorge.
Do I cry like Simba
You
did?
do. Yeah, we might cry at the end of this ride, because at the end of the ride, you and Simba are running together amongst the stampede, trying to get out. It's like a full immersive 3D overhead experience where animals are jumping over you. You're hiding under rocks. Think Ratatouille's Rat Adventure, but a little bit more intense and dangerous. And it's like that same kind of screen that kind of comes overhead. But I want the ride to end with Simba saying to you, "Are you okay? Good." And then calling for his dad. and he walks off stage. And you don't see it again, but he walks off stage. You know in your head, Mufasa's gone, but he sets off to go and look for his father, and you don't get to see that situation. But that's my second attraction over in the Barren Wasteland.
Did you just destroy a whole bunch of kids' hearts? Oh my gosh! Like I'm hurting all this.
This is Villains. Like, this is Villains.
It's Villains. This feels.
It's dark.
I feel like there's a lot of conversations that are going to happen after that ride.
Yeah. So this is Villains Land, and it's supposed to be dark. You're celebrating the darker moments of Disney animation with this park.
I'm there for it. You have me hook, line, and sinker. How much is a ticket?
So there you go. That's just my first land. We have 3 more to go through together. All right, you're up next. Your second land. Where is this geographically speaking in terms of the layout?
Well, I mean, obviously, we're going spoke and wheel, so we're going north, south, east, and west, basically.
Okay.
So once you come out of the Disney arcade, you are greeted by the Strange Worlds land, where you may find yourself a new home that is just a little strange.
That's creative and far out, and I'm here for it.
Think of Strange World that's coming out, Wally, Meet the Robinsons, Big Hero 6, Atlantis. Think Treasure Planet. Just the titles that don't fit into your Disney princess, your normal action adventure. These are the ones that are just a bit off, and they're hard to describe. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to start off in our quick service, and you're basically going to be greeted by Big Hero 6, Coffee Shop, the Lucky Cat Cafe and Bakery, where you can just stop and relax and enjoy your time there. You can enjoy having a coffee, a croissant, whatever you want to eat. Upstairs, which is really nice, you can actually do a walkthrough of Hero's room upstairs and all the technology he's doing it. And that's where you get to meet and greet with Baymax, because you have to meet Baymax in the coffee shop. Next, as you're coming out of there, you get to my first, what would be considered the real first e-ticket ride. And this is the Wally Zero Gravity Drop.
Yes. I have a drop tower too, so we're all good.
Yeah. But this one's different, okay? Instead of looking up and seeing a 200-foot tower, you drop straight into the ground.
Yeah.
So you don't know it's coming. You're just like, okay, it's a drop tower.
You're sitting at ground level.
You're at ground level, and boom, you are down, and your body feels like it's weightless for 10 seconds or however long it takes to get down. You come back up, and half the ride is coming back up, where you see the roots growing and you see the trees coming back. And then by the time you hit the top, the tree is in full bloom, and you have the Peter Gabriel song playing as you're coming off the ride. That's my first real e-ticket ride, and it's Wally Drop Tower. And then you get over a little bit more, and you go over to what is a Treasure Planet Child's Ride. And it's just basically riding on the Treasure Planet boat that sails through the skies, a la Peter Pan. Like, you got to have something for the little kids.
We've got stuff for little kids too. Yup. Very cute, man.
What? More morals and what? And more showing people what death is all about.
Dead parents. We have the Dead Parents Museum.
Your whole land is dead parents. So the next one you get to is the Atlantis Dark VR ride. Think Phantom Manor. Think something like that. So you're Atlantis, and you're obviously following the story of Atlantis. So that is like your other e-ticket ride in that attraction. Other than that, this is where you're going to meet some of the characters. You're going to be able to meet the T-Rex from Meet the Robinsons and the family. You're going to be able to meet Baymax. You're going to be able to meet the characters from Strange World. And the colors are going to be fantastical, just like you were saying, where they have that muted space, aquas and bright oranges. And it's just a beautiful, Strange World land where all the art around you is very surrealistic. Mushrooms grow.
I like that. Well, Strange World, Atlantis, I like that you're giving some representation to the things that don't get a lot of love and attention in terms of animation. So I'm there. I'm there for your second land. All right.
And you, my friend, please give us another death thing.
So as the Barren Wasteland starts to transition, so think where you have the frontier in the Magic Kingdom, but then it starts to transition to Liberty Square. We're not going to have a Liberty Square. My second land, I want to be called the Mean Streets. So think urban decay, like Nocturne Alley feel to it, much like Nocturne Alley over in Universal's Park. But I want a 1970s grunge London vibe mixing in with the dark alleyways of New Orleans. So I want brick. I want really dark. I want grimy. I want you to think realistically, could I get mugged and or shivved in this section of the park?
Is it directed by Martin Scorsese?
At any given time. Yeah, it might break out to, it might be Gangs of New York. That might be that's like the feel and the look of this place.
Wow.
So I have two amazing experiences here. So the first one is a ride experience with the queen of 1970s grunge London. The film with Emma Stone was fantastic. Sure, I would love an animated Cruella de Vil here, but this is a place where Cruella de Vil kind of gets her inspiration from. And I want you to ride shotgun with Cruella de Vil, and you're going to join this harrowing escape as you're chased down by the despicable Cruella de Vil in an attempt to save the Dalmatians as she bears down on you in that red signature roadster. It's a hybrid dark ride / screen-based attraction. Again, I want a car. I want movement. I want something that's going to be trackless and move you from place to place. I want oversized screens. I want realistic elements and dark ride elements as well. So that's one of the rides in that area. The second idea that
wait. Before you go to the second one, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Can we make it like Spider-Man where you have to pick up the puppies as you're going?
We could do that. But I wanted to call it like Cruella de Vil's Road Rage.
I love it. The whole thing, I love. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
I was like, what would be awesome if like we missed a puppy? What happens to it in the ride?
So the second ride is called Dr. Facilier's Friends from the Other Side. And you're going to be traversing the underworld with Dr. Facilier, and it's creepy. It's a dark ride. It's the Haunted Mansion on steroids. I want it to be scary. This is a pure dark ride, original IP, and it's just got Dr. Facilier taking you through the underside. It's filled with voodoo. It's filled with dark magic. It's filled with music. Can you keep your cool on this delightfully spooky tour alongside the newly departed? And that's kind of like a Haunted Mansion aspect of the mean streets of Villains Park.
Does at the end, instead of a gift shop, do you have a psychiatrist for all the kids?
You might. You might. So in this land, well, I have a quick service dining location that we're going to talk about all our eateries later on. I have a quick service location in here too that I think you're going to like flip out for.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. And again, it's like the mean streets of London. And I'm just going to say it's kind of it's a very ratty villain. I think you're going to really like it.
I think I'm going to really like it. All right. So I'm going to move on to my next area.
Okay.
Which if you're going by the spoken wheel, obviously, so I don't have anything. I don't have a main castle. I have the giant 3D screen in the middle. So basically when you go back out into the middle and head to your right. Okay.
Sure.
You're going to come to Fairy Tale Land.
I'm picturing this in my head too, as I'm like virtually walking through this park in my head.
So where Tomorrowland would be, and goes around. So where your inner prince and princess can find their own happily ever after. Okay. This is your main Disney animation area where you would find your Cinderellas, your Rapunzels, your Snow Whites. But first, we're going to start off with something new. And this is where the Encanto Casita interactive house is going to live. You're going to walk in and you're going to come between the two mountains that have been opened and or the two hills. As you walk through, there is going to be the house. and you walk right in, and it's an interactive 2-story house, almost like a walking haunted house, except there's nothing haunted about this. You know how beautiful Encanto is, so it has all the bright colors.
Now, are we getting chased by revolutionaries with machetes? So I'm going dark today. I am living in Villains Land, so my apologies.
No, this is all happiness and love and flower power, man.
Good,
no,
okay.
This is nothing scary in my park. I'm all love and laughter.
So I'm not going to get slain, and then you're not going to have to see like yellow butterflies for the rest of my natural.
No, I don't have to explain to my children the horrors of the park when they leave with a balloon that's deflated and they're dragging their skulls on the ground, crying.
It's fair.
Okay. So
criticism heard and accepted.
Right. What's great about this? So this would be like your Fantasyland type place. Okay.
Sure.
You're going to have Araya and the Last Dragon Carousel. Now, difference of this carousel is it's actually going to be indoors and surrounded by the giant screens like you would think of, again, over in Shanghai Disney, where you ride on the dragon and you can different characters. What's the roly-poly-oly little character from there? You can ride with him. But what's nice is you are riding through all the different lands from Raya.
I believe his name is Tuk, Greg.
Tuk.
I think. I'm pretty sure. Tuk. I've only seen Raya twice, but I'm pretty sure it's Tuk.
Well, you can ride on a tuk. Now that sounds wrong. We could have just gone with the roly-poly-oly guy. So indoors, but again, the screens are so bright. It's all 4K. You want the brightness. You want to be able to see how riding through all those different lands and the beauty that is there. So indoor carousel for Raya. Out of there, you come and you go over, and there's a Rapunzel ride finally. Rapunzel gets her own real ride. Think Pirates of the Caribbean, where she is trying to get to the Lantern's Light. It's going to be a water ride. And then obviously at the end, the lanterns are floating all around you, 3D effects, all that sort of stuff. We have the technology, Mark. We need to use the technology. Beyond that,
I like it.
Here is the main ride you have in the whole park. Okay. This is why you want to go there. Your ride is called Down the Rabbit Hole.
Oh,
it is
man.
Tower of Terror.
Wait, what?
But Alice in Wonderland style, when she falls down the rabbit hole. So you go up into the elevator, you're chasing the white rabbit. As you're going up into another room, you're chasing the white rabbit. Mr. Rabbit, Mr. Rabbit. You get to the elevator, and next thing you know, you're dropped.
So for a guy who doesn't like drop towers, you now have...
Hate them.
You have 2 of them in your park.
2 of them. Yes.
You're going to be miserable in your park. There's 2 drop towers. There's one.
I will be the Walt Disney where he walks around the park enjoying the smiles and laughter on the children's faces.
Fair enough.
Unlike you, who is going to walk through like the prison guard trying to beat people back into submission.
Well, it's not going to be that kind of vibe. It's going to be delightfully evil. It's going to be like Villains After Hours, man. It's good to be bad.
You've already scarred my children for life, Mark.
Well, with the Lion King ride, I probably scarred a lot of people. Let's be honest.
Scarred me, man.
Scarred a lot of people.
A lot of people
with that ride.
So I actually have 2 restaurants in this area that we are going to discuss in a minute.
Okay.
But yeah, those are the Down the Rabbit Hole, Tower and Terror, Alice in Wonderland ride is the big attraction of the whole park. That you're going to be able to see this from the highway coming in. I haven't decided on the building and how it looks yet, but I'm thinking tree mushrooms.
Okay.
Why? I don't know why mushrooms are a thing.
You got a lot of shrooms going on in your park. That's all I'm going to say. There's a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of shrooms, man. A lot of fungus.
A lot of fungi.
There's a lot of fun.
I'm a fun guy. That's what I'm saying. I'm a fun guy.
All right. So on the left, you have the Barren Wasteland. Then you have the mean streets next to it. I'm going to jump. So I'm not going to do what would be considered my fantasy land. I'm going to save that for the last part. And instead, I'm going to jump over to like that right-hand side that's Tomorrowland. My third land is called the Villains Lair. The Villains Lair. And it's going to have iconic lairs and homes of villains from around the animated universe.
Sometimes you and I think almost alike, only just a bit off. Because I have houses also of characters coming up. So
all right, so
I'm loving this.
Cave of Wonders. We have Ursula's grotto over there that's going to serve as a meet and greet area for her. So we are going to have Ursula. That's going to be a meet and greet. I want to have a show over in the Villains Lair. And it's going to be the Evil Queen's Spell Chambers. And it's an interactive show. It's a potion show with like special effects and with magic where the Evil Queen interacts with the audience. And it's basically a Monsters, Inc. laugh lore kind of deal. But you have the Evil Queen at the helm. There is an actor that's there throughout the course of the day. So there's about 5 or 6 shows of the Evil Queen's Spell Chambers. Then I want to have a Gaston sing-along and dance party because no one sings like Gaston. I want you to go into Gaston's abode and sing because he uses antlers in all of his decorating, Greg. So we've
Gaston, you got to pull yourself together.
So we've got 2 shows over in the Villains Lair. Then the e-ticket attraction that we have is called the Cave of Wonders Breakout. Mission Breakout.
Ooh. Oh, look at this.
Here's the concept. Jafar has trapped you inside of the Cave of Wonders. So it's you, Aladdin, and Abu inside and trapped inside of Cave of Wonders, which is starting to collapse. Can you break out with the help of your new friend, Magic Carpet, on a 3D virtual flying experience? Think Flight of Passage with an Aladdin feel to it, almost like a VR experience, where again, it's an immersive flight simulator. And instead of sitting on a like motorcycle style thing, you're on a magic carpet. You have your hands kind of like gripping something, but then Disney has a way to like get you to stay affixed to the magic carpet, which tilts. And as you hold on to the magic carpet, you have to like ride through the caverns as everything is collapsing around you. And then at the end, unlike the other experience where Simba's walking away to go meet a dead Mufasa, you meet Genie and you open up the lamp to the whole possibilities therein. So you follow the story of Aladdin, this action-packed moment in the animated film. Now you have to break out of the Cave of Wonders. That's my e-ticket attraction over at Villains Lair.
That's amazing. I am there again. I have now bought 2 tickets.
Yeah,
I'm close to buying an annual pass here.
So 2 shows, and 1 e-ticket attraction over in that land itself, in that area.
You go, man. So good.
All right,
so good.
Your final, the 4th and final land with any kind of rides that you have in your Imagineered 5th gate. We're Imagineering here on Dislife Podcast.
So come one, come all. To the House of Mouse, my friend.
Natural.
My last land is the House of Mouse. Step inside the world of Disney's past and become part of cartoon history, my friend Mark. We are going old school. We are going to have classic Disney character houses lining the streets. It's going to be like, think Toontown, USA, only if it was more than one road, okay? We are going, and Zootopia. Think of the land like that. So you're going to have Donald's house. You're going to have Mickey's house, Chip and Dale's house. You're going to have Goofy's house. You're going to be able to go over and see Judy Hopps in her house. So
is this going to be like Dreamlight Valley?
Wow, it kind of does sound like that all of a sudden. I'm like, woo, see, you never know where inspiration's going to come from. I need 37 grain, 400 gold to build this,
and an empty flask.
An empty flask.
Don't forget
and an emerald. Flask. Don't forget the emerald.
Oh, those are the pain to harvest.
They took forever. So each one is a classic Disney character house meet and greet. This is where the history of Disney comes alive. all the characters from the cartoons will be there, where you are going to be able to interact with all the characters. They're going to be walking around. This is going to be more of an interactive zone. You're going to have a miniature train that rides through the land. It's a smaller train.
We need a train. Yeah, you got to have a train.
To have a train, but it's just going to go around the land to the individual houses, and you could be the mailman for the day and deliver mail to Minnie and Mickey with your Magic Band Plus.
You could nice use of technology there.
Thank you.
Like what you did.
There's going to be a beautiful, wonderful fountain right in the middle where all the families can gather, and the fountain's going to be open. If the little ones want to go splash pad, you can go splash pad with Mickey Mouse all you want. And then I have a beautiful restaurant in there that we're going to discuss in a minute.
We're going to get all our dining in a minute. Yep.
So think the cartoon House of Mouse and how you would interact with them. And that is where all the classic characters came together as one. And look, there were villains in there.
There were.
So,
hey,
small villains houses. This is going to take up a good portion of my park because these streets are truly going to be like roads you would walk up and down.
Yeah, well, I've got the mean streets, so that's all I'm going to say. My streets are mean, definitely more mean than yours are. All right, so if you walk,
it's the only land in the world built by Martin Scorsese in Raging Bull.
It's the 5 points. If you walk through Maleficent's castle, much like you open up to a fantasy land, you're going to open up to an area that's home to dark magic in Villain's Kingdom. So much like the fantasy land, you're going to walk into an area that's just populated with this dark energy and dark magic. Now, I want to have those.
Did you all of a sudden just scar the little children and the religious right?
I did. So what you want to have in it, like I want to have dark versions of those kid-friendly rides. I haven't fully fleshed them out because they're pretty generic. I mean, if I took 5 or 10 minutes, but I want a Dumbo-style ride. I want like teacups. I want a dark carousel. I want to have essentially versions of what you have in Fantasyland emulated and copied, okay? But the attraction that I want in this area, I want Mother Gothel's Drop Tower. This is the e-ticket attraction. So you have the tower, you have Rapunzel's tower that's looming over this dark magical area. And it's Mother Gothel's drop tower. And listen, you're going to be questioning when will your life begin as a part of this ride or end as you fall and plummet fast to escape the clutches of Mother Gothel to reach the bottom of the tower. It's going to have Flynn Rider. It's going to have Maximus. It's going to have Pascal. The 3 of them are trying to help you break out of the tower and avoiding the perils of the journey, but there's going to be random drop sequences, kind of like Mission Breakout. You're going to have that screen-based technology in the middle of the ride where you're going to have like a scene and then you're going to drop again and you're going to climb back up. And Mother Gothel is pulling you back up. So I was thinking of having like a screen on the top of the ride vehicle where you have like Mother Gothel in perspective pulling you back up from whatever it is, whether it's a rope or hair that you're climbing down. And the goal is to escape a very angry Mother Gothel who does not want you to get out of the tower and get away. So that is the e-ticket attraction. Now you're going to love my secondary attraction for this area because I have a bonus. Using RFID technology, you're going to flip out over this. I want a full-on wizard duel with Mad Madam Mim.
What?
I want to use RFID. So here's the other thing, and I get it. People are going to be like, oh, but that's so Harry Potter. Disney should sell wands. They should sell wands. They have several characters in the Disney universe that use wands of their own. Mad Madam Mim, Merlin, the fairy godmother. There are characters in Disney canon that have both good and evil that have wands of their own.
How else would I get bippity boppity booed?
Correct. So I want to have, and here's the other idea of this. Here's where it becomes really fun. And it's not just a static experience. I wanted to have it be like a labyrinth. So this is check this out, Greg. It's a walkthrough. It's a walkthrough attraction labyrinth. Think glass maze, but not glass. And there are interactive panels where Mad Madam Mim pops up out of nowhere, and then you have to duel her on the spot, releasing another door or a trap to get by. So it's part walkthrough, part RFID duel, and on the wall, it shows you like what you have to do and the sequence that you have to wave the wand in order to beat her. So it's like an interactive video game walkthrough. That's your second attraction.
That's genius. That's truly genius.
I hope Disney's listening to this because
I really do too.
Because I would love to have that. Like, I'm not just kidding. I didn't just do it for the sake of this show. I'm thinking as I'm coming up with this idea, I'm like, man, I would love to do this. Or in the Wizarding World, how great of an idea would a walkthrough where you have to use your wand to battle whatever it is. And except in the Wizarding World.
How could you not do the goblet fight? Like, I know it's off topic, but over at Universal, how could you not? Like, I could, I
didn't want to crush your soul. I didn't want to crush your soul by saying, of course, over at Universal, at the end, Cedric Diggory gets it.
Oh my God, what is wrong with you today, my friend?
Yeah, but
you have gone dark. You are no longer allowed to do the dark side of things.
Sorry, I killed the patron saint of Hufflepuff yet again on this show.
Whoa.
My bad.
Speaking of bad and not bad, I just want to follow up on a story we reported earlier about having cookies being made. I was just handed a hot cookie.
Follow up cookies. Cookies are done. We've gone from cookie dough to straight up cookies. We
have cookies now, Mark.
Fancy.
I'm satisfied with my care.
This is really good. Okay. Well, speaking of which, turning to food, you have real food in front of you. I don't. So we have come up with, and I said 2 quick service and 2 table service options. You eat your cookie. Let me go first. Or you know what? No, don't be rude. Don't eat a cookie in front of me. You go first. Tell me your 4 dining options.
But it's hot cookie, Mark.
We'll let it cool off.
So I've already spoke about a few of my places to eat. One being the Wreck-It Ralph in that area where you're going to have the sea salt ice cream quick service place over in my Kingdom Hearts area.
I feel like you missed an opportunity though to have pancake where you do like bunny. You have to give it to the bunny. Bunny gets the pancake.
Of course. How can you not have that menu? Wow, I didn't even think of that.
You missed an opportunity there.
I missed it. We're going to have obviously the Big Hero 6 coffee shop, Lucky Cat Cafe and Bakery. Morning stuff. They never serve breakfast at the parks. Like this is going to be full on.
Even more reason to give us a pancake house.
Right.
Call it Bunny Gets the Pancake.
We're going to have here. Let me get to my real restaurants. Okay. So in my fairy tale land, you are going to have Tiana's restaurant, full on Cajun bayou style. This is where you're going to get your po' boys and your crawfish and this is your beignets. This is the first time you can get a beignet and just sit down, Mark, and have a good time with some. What's the coffee you like? Chicory, right?
Chicory coffee.
It's all going to be in there, my friend, with live bands. You're going to actually have like a new Preservation Hall jazz band playing up on stage while you enjoy their meal. So think hoedown. Think style like that, but at Tiana's restaurant. Now, your second major restaurant in Fairy Tale Land is afternoon tea with a prince and princess. This is more high end where you're going to have your dainty little teas and your coffees, and they're going to have sandwiches and for some odd reason, pickles. They're going to have kosher pickles, dill pickles, gherkin pickles, butter pickles. It's your pickle place at the Princess and Princesses. I just wanted to use the word P as much as I could in that past sentence. Here is my main one that everybody's going to. This is your Beauty and the Beast Castle. This is your this is what is that called?
Be Our Guest.
Be Our Guest. Wow, man, I live here. This is your Be Our Guest restaurant of the park. It is in House of Mouse. This is where you step into the real House of Mouse and you are eating with other characters who are going to be sitting at the table. Now,
what do you get Mark, to eat there though?
I don't know if Greg. Wow. No. You were dark today.
Wait a minute. If you don't eat hot dogs at Mickey's house, like, how is that not? It's his first words. Hot dog.
hot diggity dog.
Oh, gosh.
No. Hot dogs for the children if they would like them. You always have to give a kid a hot dog if they want it.
Yeah.
This is, Mark, have you ever been to the Catskill Mountains?
Yes.
Yes. Remember the Borscht Belt resorts?
Yes.
This is the layout of one of the Borscht Belt resort style restaurants with dinner show happening in front of it, just like the House of Mouse. Okay. Where what's going to be great is instead of on the Disney Wish, Olaf rolls around on the table. No, on this one, there's going to be a microphone that comes down and talks to you at your table, and you can record a little snippet that'll be shown up on it as a cartoon up on the big screen that is in front of you. You're going to be served by penguins. The penguins are going to be serving you buffet style. They're also going to have really nice dinners if you would like to order from it.
Is it narrated by Morgan Freeman?
How did you know? It literally just says, and it's narrated by Morgan Freeman the whole time. What's his name? Jackie. And Jackie Mason is up on stage too, just telling old Borscht jokes.
Gosh.
And they have bagels and logs.
This is crazy.
So this is going crazy. So that is your wonderful restaurant that you want to. You want to go to the House of Mouse and eat in the House of Mouse, my friend. So those are your restaurants and quick service.
Let's get borscht.
Let's get borscht, my friends.
All right, so I have
the bagels, they're just not fresh today. I don't know why I'm complaining. I'm loving on the mouse, but I hate the food. $40 for a bagel with some salmon on it?
We could
$40, Mark.
We could have some Bialys, Greg. All right, I have two quick service.
Half my family hates me right now.
I have two quick service locations, and then I have two table service. My table service, the one is going to knock your socks off. I guarantee it. All right, so my first quick service is sure to. You're going to enjoy this as a person and a fellow blue hair goer. You're going to love Hades Underworld Eatery, and this is in the back, kind of where that Pinocchio house is. It's a very same location geographically speaking. It's over in that magical land or the dark magic portion of what would kind of be their fantasy land. So this is going to have entrees sure to cause pain and panic, Greg. It's a quick service, hot barbecue location, very spicy, a lot of exotic flavors, a lot of spice to the food that's here. Not necessarily kid-friendly. Of course, you can get the fingers and the fries, but for adults, like that hot dog that we had over at Award Wieners, stuff like that, stuff that's really bringing spice. So that is going to be Hades Underworld Eatery. Lots of hot and spicy food offerings. That's my first quick service dining location. Questions?
Not doing it. I'm not doing
Comments?
it. I'm walking away. I'm being the better man.
It's a spicy hot dog, Greg.
I love the spicy hot dog.
All right, I think you're. I think you're.
That's an award wiener right there.
I think you're going to really appreciate my second one. You want to talk about a deep cut Disney right here? Professor Radigan's. Oh, Rinds and Wedges is the name of the restaurant. I didn't just come up with the theme. Professor Radigan's Rinds and Wedges. Quick service restaurant that delights in farmstead cheeses and entrees featuring decadent cheeses that are locally produced and sourced, grilled cheese sandwiches, handmade breads, Angus cheeseburgers, charcuterie, and craft beers on tap. Think baseline tap house with a cheese and a smoked cheese. The Radigan is the patron saint of this quick service establishment. How
That's
often do you get Great Mouse Detective? How often do you get that? You're there. I told you you're going to love that one. I knew you were going to love it.
Yeah. I was going to suggest a ride for you earlier over in your Fantasyland type section. I'm sorry. What was it called again?
Dark Magic?
Yes, Dark Magic area.
Yeah, the Dark Magic area of the park.
You need, instead of Dumbo, it's Orville from The Rescuers.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
Radigan, man.
Radigan.
You are deep cutting this.
We're deep cut. All right, so the one that's more traditional that kind of everyone would expect. I mentioned this one before that I want to have a restaurant on the second floor of Maleficent's castle. So this is Maleficent's Banquet Hall. Character meet and greet dining. It's a prefix menu offerings for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The meet and greets here, instead of being princesses, you're meeting villains. Maleficent, Evil Queen, Cruella, Jafar, Count Rolo, and Hades are the evil villains that are going to walk around. They're going to do table touches. I want it to look and feel like Maleficent's home. Again, green flames. I want it to be dark. I want it to be foreboding. I want it to have an evil, villainous vibe to it. Think of very dark Cinderella's royal table. Nothing that's going to surprise people. But again, if you want a place that you can really like rub elbows with villains all in one spot, Maleficent's Banquet Hall is going to be your go-to location and a signature dining event. My final table service and signature dining event.
Wait. Go back.
Okay.
Is there a mirror at the end where you find out that you were the villain all along?
So absolutely. Okay. So that part of the potions experience with the Evil Queen is that interaction with the evil mirror, by the way. The show that I had over in the right side in the Villains Lair. Yeah. Part of that show is the evil mirror of mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all. And like in true Laugh Floor, instead of it being her, it's going to be someone in the audience that then is going to draw the ire of the Evil Queen for the rest of the show.
Oh my gosh, I can be that guy?
You can be that guy, but in an evil version form of it. All right, so
dead guy?
No, I'm really excited about my last eatery, and I think you're going to lose your dang mind with this one. As you transition from the mean streets over to the
Do I really want to lose my mind?
The dark magic area. I've said this about Columbia Harbor House, and they're not going to do a Columbia Harbor House because I don't know why they haven't invested in this concept. But I'm going to put the Snuggly Duckling over in my Villains Kingdom, in my Villains Fifth Gate. It's going to be complete with the gang. Now, here's the thing. It's not just going to be the style and the ambiance of the Snuggly Duckling. That's obviously going to be there, right? You know, you're going to have the wood finishes, the craft brews. I want this to be a musical review. Think Hoop-de-Doo review meets Tangled, Greg. I want the gang in the Snuggly Duckling. I want them doing a show, and I want it to be a full review with I've Got a Dream and more, that I want the gang and the piano player and the hook piano player. I want them all in this show, and I want this to be a dinner/show experience with like 2 or 3 seatings per night, that the Snuggly Duckling comes to life. In the middle of the day, there's no review, and you can make it like a tap house that you could go to and you can do sandwiches. But at night, I want it to be like the Golden Horseshoe used to be over in Magic Kingdom, where you can have a review and a very real show at the end of the night. That is my 4th and final eatery in the Villains Kingdom.
I'm malicious, mean, and scary. My sneer could curdle dairy. And violence-wise, my hands are not the cleanest. God.
Your dream stinks, Greg. Your park stinks, Greg.
Mark,
I like hers.
I've bought an annual pass. How much is that costing me?
So we're going to make this one $99.99 for one park day, because we only have about 8 attractions right now, but we can always expand this park in the future. There's lots of real estate.
We are expanding this park.
Yeah, there's lots of real estate for villains. So,
man, I'm blown away.
Look, I had to raise the bar. Everyone was like, oh, if Mark's going with villains, like, we know this already. I had to really flesh that one out in order for it to be something of note, that people knew that I put in
earlier
work.
To stop using flesh it out.
You did. Circling back to the statement of this is where at the end of the show we circle back to things that we started with at the beginning. So we started fleshing it out. We're ending with fleshing it out.
Flesh.
Yes. But thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for Imagineering a Fifth Gate. Just a reminder, it's just Monday here on the Chip and Company Podcast Network. We have 4 more amazing shows coming up this week. Parks in Review, the Best of Disney Parks, News and Review, and of course, and Company. And stay tuned. In the next few days, we are going to have a very exciting announcement. We are adding another show to the Chip and Company Podcast Network. We are pulling in the talent right now. They're wrapping up some stuff over in their corners of the world, but we're going to be pulling on another team to come and join us here and have fun and podcast about Disney. But thank you as always for living your best Disney lives with us here every single Monday. And until next week, ladies and gentlemen, we hope the rest of the week is filled with faith, trust, and pixie dust. Bye, everybody.
He's got a dream. He's got a dream. See, I ain't as cruel and vicious as I seem.
Dislife Podcast is brought to you by the Happiness is Addictive collection. Happiness is Addictive is passionate about spreading laughter and creating smiles worldwide. They love bringing their global community together through optimism, cheer, hopefulness, merriment, and celebrating life's magical moments. They know how important it is to celebrate life's adventures, and their apparel will give you everlasting, one-of-a-kind memories through pixie-dusted family photos, compliments from park guests, and magical moments with cast members. They pride themselves on high-quality, custom-made apparel at competitive prices with world-class service. Let them help you create a lifetime of memories, whether you're Disney bounding, kicking it poolside, participating in Run Disney marathons, having costumed adventures, or just living your best Disney life. You can find their Happiness is Addictive shop on Etsy. You can also find them on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and Pinterest. They are proud to be featured in Indy Central Florida, the Thoughtful Gift Club, and now here on Dislife Podcast. Their collection was founded by a 15-year former cast member who knows how to enhance your magical moments for a lifetime of memories with your family. Don't forget to use promo code DISLIFE15 to take an extra 15% off. What are you waiting for? Head over to Etsy and start getting happy today. Follow the link in our show notes and you'll find out for yourself that happiness is addictive.